Thank you for joining. This is Bob Pettit over at the Office of Research and Sponsored Projects, and I put together a quick tutorial on EndNote version 8. Before you hop off and say, "Oh, I already know what this is," let me clarify. It's not the EndNote feature inside of Microsoft Word. In fact, it has nothing to do with the uh, referencing or bibliography style that Microsoft offers. In fact, I discourage you from using this. And I think once you see the details of this software, you'll never look back. So, EndNote is a commercial reference management software package used to manage bibliographies and references when writing essays and articles. And obviously, in academia, we're more about writing articles and books. So, what's neat about this is that our campus owns it. They purchased the rights to the license, and they can send you a product code for you to download it onto your computer. There's both Mac and PC versions, so you don't need to worry about that. And the newest version of EndNote has worked out many of the glitches and features of the old version, and it's certainly a little more powerful than some of the free programs out there, such as Zotero. Even if you're a Zotero user, uh, if you haven't figured it out yet, there are some strings attached with the free softwares. Once you start getting in the four figures of references, over 1,000 references, you need to start paying. So don't spend your own money when the university has taken it upon itself to invest in this program, both for you and your students. So it has many advantages. I mentioned already that uh, some of the free versions come with strings attached. Um, it it's a little more difficult to share your files, share your quote libraries. There were some compatibility issues with PC and Mac, and with the version we have, that goes away. In fact, side by side, the older versions of EndNote used to look a lot different in PC versus Mac, and that frustrated a lot of people. The newest version has done away with that, so it basically is a carbon copy, whichever system you operate off of. It's great at importing a wide range of journal styles, and I'll give you an example of that in a bit here. So the software once it's downloaded, it syncs to your EndNote to your Microsoft Word, and so the you'll have this new tab that appears in your menu of tabs up at the top of the screen in Word, and when you hit that tab, you'll see a variety of menus to select from. I personally never use any of these except for the middle one. And that's when you get done writing, you want to tell your computer, you want to tell Microsoft Word what what style of citation you're using. So let's get started. The first thing you have to start with is getting it onto your computer. And if you email either Ashley or Karen, they can send you the product code and a PDF from EndNote that has a step-by-step instructions on how to download the software. I will say that if you're already a user of EndNote, you may need to uninstall the older versions, but please, whatever you do, don't delete your libraries. When you install the new version, all of your libraries will sync in with version 8. So it's pretty nice. So I'm going to hop off here and pull open I was working on something else there. Um, I've got a Word document open. And I'll open up EndNote just to show you what it looks like when you launch it. You'll see my name and it's giving the product code. So you'll have to enter some stuff in at the front end and then you're up and running. And I've got many libraries already. That's why this looks a little voluminous. But you can open different libraries depending on what you have. It'll park a new folder into your documents. It'll ask you where you want to put it. You can put it on your desktop or in your documents, whatever. And then you can pull up whatever library you have. So I'm going to open up this body fat library because we had written a paper on handheld bioelectric impedance. So we needed to run that. We needed to use EndNote for this paper. And so in here, we can see that the plus publication or journal is used. If I want to insert references, so for example, this first sentence here, I've cited reference number 1. If I want to add a reference, if I want to say, well, multiple authors are doing this, I simply highlight the reference that I want, and I go in and I paste it. And now when I do that, well, didn't like me doing it inside it. And now when you do that, it automatically updates. But this is there's a space in there, so I made a mistake. So I just go in and remove that, and then the EndNote will automatically fix the error. So now it's citing it 1, comma 2. So you might ask yourself, well, how do I get the references in here? One way to do it is you can just simply type in the reference. You can select the type of reference. So this is telling you journal article. You have a whole wide range of topics that you can do. Most of us are citing journal articles. You can enter it in manually, or what you can do, I'm just going to X out of that. Or what you can do is you can go out to a search engine, and I'm going to use PubMed. And then we'll go ahead and type in whatever. I'll use bioelectric impedance since that was the paper that we were writing on. And EndNote is saying, "Oh, okay, I know what you're thinking about." And look at I see some matches here. Maybe I want to cite this paper by Lamb, and it's not in my database yet. So what I'll do is just simply go to Send To, click Citation Manager, and then what will happen is, so this is Lamb MJ. So what will happen is, let me get a hold of this real quick. What will happen is when I double click on the Citations tab, it automatically put this reference into EndNote. So instead of typing it in, it automatically entered it in for me. So then the next thing, I'll go back and I'll say, well, show the references. And now I'm seeing all the references, and I should see Lamb highlighted because that was the one I just inserted. I'm going to go ahead and enter that and say, well, Lamb also was in agreement with whoever references 1 and 2 were. And so now when I've done that, it's going to automatically update my references. So now I see, well, Lamb is in there at number 3, and here it is in all its glory. And it's already building the bibliography for me. So then I get the letter back from +1, and they said, I'm sorry, but we've decided your journal is it's not a fit for us. So you say, well, okay, let's go ahead and resubmit this to the New England Journal of Medicine. And what EndNote will do is fix your citation style. So now you see the citation style has changed. And now instead of the brackets with the reference numbers, it's raised numerals. Maybe it's APA. So we can go in and find APA. Sorry, I'm not a huge APA user. And so APA has the title, it includes the authors within the title. And so now you'll see the author's full name is in with the references. So what if you go into this and you see, well, I'm not finding the journal that I need. This happened to me a week or so ago. I was wanting to submit to the European Journal of Applied Physiology, but their journal style wasn't in here. And so you can go out onto the internet, and you can either go to the journal itself. Oftentimes the journals will say, if you're using EndNote, click here. Or you can go to EndNote directly. And you'll see here, they've got output styles. This is unbelievable. You can download all 6,000 styles. I don't recommend doing that because then you'll end up with too many to choose from. But you can try to search for the name of the journal or the publisher. So I can try to click in the European. It's already remembered me doing that. And then I click apply, and it will tell you its exact directions on how to install. When you file, and then when you do this, you'll go back into your EndNote database. Now, when I go search for the European Journal of Applied Physiology, it's inside my database. So that was one that wasn't preloaded, but I added it because it's a journal that I commonly submit to. So you can build up the journals that you apply to and customize the editorial style to your liking. Now, the last feature, which is really nice, if you, I'm going to go back to +1. So this happened to me where we were submitting this to a journal that didn't have a citation style. It's a brand new journal. It's an open access journal. But we found that +1 was very close to it. And so what you can do is you can say, all right, well, let's go ahead and convert this to plain text. And it's going to warn you, it's going to say, well, we're going to make this a new document. Now it's open as a new document. And in the EndNote document, what you'll see is in the bibliography, as you hover over the EndNote, you'll see these gray boxes. This is telling you it's synced with your EndNote. When you save it as plain text, now when you hover over that, it's just plain text. There's no gray box. It's no longer synced with EndNote. But what I can do is go in here and cut or modify what I don't need. So, for example, out of this reference list, there were 20-something references. There were quite a bit of extra indexing information that journal just doesn't need or use. They might just index in PubMed. so you can go in and manually fix that. It's a lot faster doing it that way than typing it out for yourself. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up. A few more quick tidbits. If I want to take my library and send you my library, I can do that. You might be working with a student on a paper, and you're both using EndNote, and it makes life a lot easier if you're working with the same programs. So that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions or need any help, we're available to you over at the Office of Research and Sponsored Projects. My email is there for you, or you can hop on the phone and I can walk you through things, or I can come over to your office and give you a hand.